pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome everyone to the meeting. Roll call, Judy.
Mr. Barber? Here. Mr. Douglas is absent. Mr. Irwin?
Here.
Excused. Mr. Bruno?
Here.
And Mr. McDonald?
Here. Matt's here. Judy's covering for Diane. Jim is excused. Something came up last minute. Bob, Chaka, Christine, Mike, Courtney, Pam, and residents. Okay. Used to Diane doing that, so slack behind.
You didn't use any official titles on it, I can tell you.
Highway, water, sewer, dock control, code officer.
We're on first name basis
secretary
here.
Board.
We're all good with it.
Okay. So I need a motion and a second to accept all department heads, water, sewer.
I'm
What?
sorry, except for you.
What's that?
Yeah, youth is not in
Youth, okay.
here. Yeah.
Slackers.
Okay, so, well, let's get to the reports. So, accept all reports, water, sewer, bill court, highway, town clerk, dock control, code officer, supervisor report, website, GCU.
Make the motion.
Report. Craig made the motion. I'll second. Second by Mel. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I need a motion to approve the regular board meeting on February 27th.
I'll make it. Second.
Rick made it. Craig seconded it. Believe we are all here at that meeting? Everyone was here at the meeting? Yeah. All in favor?
Aye. I haven't missed one in 5 years now.
Oh,
Okay.
number 6, community inputs. I got Roberts, Dehanis. Would like to speak?
Yeah. On March 1st, my mailbox and my neighbor's mailbox was hit by a plow. I'm deducing it was a plow after 32 and a half years in law enforcement. Pieces of it were down our side of the street, or my neighbor's side of the street, about 100 feet scattered. I called the town garage, spoke to one gentleman who basically said there was no plows on my street, but they salted the night before. I said, well, we have 3 feet of snow plowed in the end of my driveway, so obviously it was a plowing truck. Said he'd look into it for me, never took my name or my contact information. Called back there about 5 minutes later, spoke to a second gentleman who basically just said, if you have to dig into the ground, we can't do that because we gotta get state approval. I said, I'm not trying to get to that, I just want to know, like, is there any ownership on this? Then I called your work cell, the number that's online. I left you a message saying my name, phone number, and I'd like to speak to you on March 1st. I got nothing. March 2nd, I sent you a detailed email with photos of the damage to the mail. March 2nd, today's the 13th. I got no response. So,
I did not get your phone call and I did not see an email, but
how is that possible? Didn't come back to my spam, didn't come back to return mail,
I
didn't
do
come
not
back
know.
to...
I return everyone's phone call,
I understand
sir.
that.
I return
I know
everyone's
good
phone
things
call.
about-
I never avoid anybody.
I'm
The
not-
first conference, let me speak for a minute.
Okay.
Kim Lawrence has called me from your street. I called her 3 times. She just met me in the parking lot. I don't avoid conflict of anything. Ask Mike. I've returned everyone's phone call this year about mailboxes, from Hillcrest to every road in probably Peru, probably 7 of them. I don't avoid it. So for some reason I did not get the message. I do return phone calls. I would not avoid a phone call if I get one.
And I left 2 messages at the town garage.
That I can't answer to.
Tyler, I believe, is the one that talked to you. I didn't talk to anybody.
What was this?
I wasn't there. I normally plow the village. I did not plow the village that morning. I do believe you're across from Rick Frenier.
Next direction.
On the same, but the mailbox is across the road.
Yes.
Okay.
So
I know
somebody-
that has a curb in front of it. Tyler said the plow jumped the curb because he normally doesn't plow the village, and it got 2 of them, or 1 of them, I'm not sure. But the standard policy is we don't fix mailboxes. We haven't in 5-6 years. If they're in the town's right away, we try not to hit them, but it was somebody different in the village. It's not the first one that happened several times this last storm. It just 90% of the time the snow snapped them off, but the wind jumped the curb just because he normally doesn't do that run. and it hit the mailbox apparently.
I'm not looking for a mailbox, and I'm speaking on behalf of my neighbor Terry Teopa, who walks 5 miles a day, and she's here, but she did not feel comfortable coming here tonight. Because her mailbox was damaged too. I replaced the mailboxes, I could care less about the price of the mailbox, that's not the issue. The issue is talking to 2 separate people at the town garage, and nobody taking my information, and then the other gentleman told me, we can't even tell you who was working last night because we're so short-handed. Again, I patrolled the city for a number of years, I'm with the county, I know what it's like to talk to taxpayers, I know what it's like to have people tell me that I pay your salary because I'm a taxpayer, I don't like it. But the fact that, and I apologize, I took your number, work cell number off of the Peru website, and that's what I called. I took your email address off the town website, and that's what I
That's the
emailed.
reason I get.
And so
Because I
I'm
do
assuming that you're just avoiding me, which really upsets me. So I'm here just because I'm angry as a taxpayer. I'm not here because I'm looking for mailboxes. Mailboxes are $30 a piece. I could care less about this. So I'm here because it's just, I've reached out for nothing. I bought a house here 11 years ago. It's a great street. I give you guys kudos. I gave kudos. I can print out the email and give it to you. I gave kudos. You guys are amazing. I have never had service or clean streets like this when I lived in the city of Blackburn. I mean, it's an amazing job. It was just, I just wanted just a little ownership, and everybody's like, wait, not us, not us. And then when I felt that I called the number, again, the number that's on the webpage and the email address, and send you something in detail. So Scott Thurber's a friend of mine, I've known him for years, so I reached out to Scott saying, and he's like, well, it's not like him, I don't know what's going on.
It's not, I mean, I call back anyone regardless of.
No, and I mean, when you were running, I let you put a sign in my yard, I mean, you look just like Frank Irwin Jr. to me, but it's like, so I love, yeah, I called his dad on the Frank all the years I grew up, so. But I mean, I love this town, I love this community, but I just felt like, man, it's kind of like, I could never get away with anything. You ding something, you got, you took ownership for it.
But it sounds like you slipped through the cracks, and I apologize.
Which I understand. I mean,
It's certainly not standard.
Yeah, because I didn't get the message, I know Tyler said he jumped the curb, I don't know who you talked to, it was probably one of the new guys that, or, I don't know, I apologize.
You sure you got the right number on the
back.
website? 'Cause it's
This,
written-
this number's on it, which is on my hip all the time.
Yeah, I've never seen you down.
I've never not returned a phone call, but then I do have a town cell phone that honestly.
What's your town email address?
It's supervisor@thetown.com.
At PeruTown.com?
Yeah.
So that's where the email was sent to.
I can check it out after we're done.
I mean, yeah, so I can look at the phone number too, but I'm not saying.
But I do have this number on the website too, which this
And
is on tied to my hip,
So
so.
what you gotta watch, I know with my town computer, if somebody sends a first email, and it's not somebody regular, it sends it right to spam.
And that's. could be
And we
why.
never
I don't
see
know.
it.
I don't know.
And I've had that with new vendors, I've had that trouble with new vendors, so I'm not saying that's what happened.
I'm not gonna be a regular, so.
Well, we're definitely sorry for the
Oh,
miscommunication.
I
It's
see.
not something any of us do as a
No.
board member or as a town. We definitely try to get
You're
rid of it.
welcome to call any of us.
Yeah.
Well, I've had 100 trials, not with your dad, but not with your dad, but I've worked with your brother obviously a million times, so I love the community. I just wanted to voice it in a public forum that I just felt kind of.
Should've went right down the list if somebody answered you.
Yeah.
Somebody would have answered that.
When you get to the bottom of the list, you'll find Bruno.
Well, don't feel bad. My
And you
mailbox
and
got-
you can always stop, and you can always stop in.
And it wasn't, yeah, not really so much wasn't it, I just wanted to say,
Yeah,
hey, somebody be more careful.
That's how you do it.
And I appreciate you letting me speak at the beginning of the meeting, I mean,
Go ahead.
you for the whole thing.
Exactly.
I would be upset.
Used to
about
it.
that.
Feel free to always
Thank you
stop
for
over
coming.
here, someone's always over here too.
Or the
We're
garage.
always over here, or the highway garage, so if something ever came up, especially, I mean, it's going on, what, 12, 13 days? Stop by one of the garages, stop by here, people are always here.
I'm going.
Call me. I will say Brandon.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank
Brandon
you
is
for
going to
coming.
respond.
Thank you.
Thank you, sorry. Okay, number 7, any other community input? Now we're moving on. Number 7, motion resolution to accept Peru Court's during the audits for 2023.
Rick, do that?
I did.
Nice, man. You got to come back when you retire to do it?
No,
You're gonna have to teach me out.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second the motion.
And resolution.
A resolution accepting the results of internal control audit for procedures and record keeping for the town of Peru Town Court. Whereas the town board has the report of internal audit for the Peru Town Court conducted by Councilman Richard Harbour Jr. on March 13, 2023. And whereas the town board agrees with the overall findings of this report of audit. Now therefore be resolved that the town of Peru Board approves and accepts the internal controls audit of the town of Peru Town Court with the record of this audit to be included in the official record of this court meeting and be it resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Roll call.
Mr. Barber.
Yes.
Mr. Bruno.
Yes.
Mr. Douglas, sorry, excuse me, he's excused. Mr. Irwin
Yes.
and Mr. McDonald.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, number 8. Just a motion and a second. We're gonna set the date for Recreation Director interviews, special meeting for March 23rd, 5:30 to 7:30, right?
Yep.
Yes, but it's a
It says
resolution.
5:15 in here on the resolution.
Yeah, because we figured you'd want to do the, all the,
The meeting will start at 5:15, the interviews start at 5:30.
Preparation.
Yes, thank you.
Introductory nonsense first.
Yes.
But the interviews are lined up 5:30, 6 o'clock, 6:30, 7 to 7, 6:30, then 7 to 7:30. So 4 interviews, 2 hours, each half an hour.
but we did it as a resolution,
Okay, so,
Just for fun.
just to make sure everything's fine.
okay, so I
No,
need,
just so I would have more to read.
so I need a motion and a second
Yeah.
to read the resolution to approve it.
Motion.
Craig,
Second.
by Nell,
A resolution to set a special meeting date for March 23rd, 2023 at 5:15 PM for the purpose of conducting recreation director position interviews. Whereas the town board requested that a special meeting be called for the purpose of conducting recreation director interviews, and whereas the town board will go into executive session immediately to perform the interview process with a full town board present, now therefore be resolved that the town of Peru Town Board will hold a special meeting on the 23rd of March 2023 at 5:15 PM, and be it resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
roll call, Judy.
Mr. Barber.
Yes.
Mr. Bruno.
Yes.
Mr. Irwin.
Yes.
Mr. McDonald.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. Next one, another resolution. Need a motion and a second to accept re-levy letter, levy, letter of engagement for sewer project single audit, Telling and Hillman, PC.
Motion.
Craig,
Second.
by Rick.
A resolution approving the revised single source audit engagement letter from Telling and Hillman PC and authorizing the supervisor to execute the same. Whereas the town board has a single source audit engagement letter from Telling and Hillman PC before it. Whereas due to the sewer upgrade project completion taking much longer than anticipated, Telling and Hillman PC has requested a revised, not to exceed amount for payment of $20,000. Now therefore be it resolved, said revised letter of engagement is accepted, and the supervisor being hereby is authorized to execute the agreement between Telling and Hillman PC and the town of Peru. And be it resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Courtney, give us some background on that.
Actually, I will.
Oh.
So, we needed to get an invoice to USDA so we could close out the project next week. When I asked for the invoice from Telling and Hillman, they had originally sent the engagement letter in 2019, so we're talking 4 years later. And she said, you know, they're not trying to get any extra money, you know, over and above, but they know that it wouldn't have, the 15,000 whatever, 15 and change wouldn't have covered their time at all, much less going back and forth from Vermont. So they requested a new letter, and USDA was fine with it since it was especially almost 4 years old.
4 years old.
Yeah.
Where's the $20,000 come from?
15.
It comes from the project.
Okay.
15
So
plus
it's
the
paid.
interest.
So we're still gonna be able to close at the right time?
Yep,
Okay.
yep. This is basically for Telling and Hillman.
Perfect.
And it's 15,000 something plus interest for
It
the,
says 20 on that thing. He
well,
just-
not to exceed, right?
Yeah.
Not to exceed.
Not to exceed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, roll call, Judy.
Okay, Mr. Barber.
Yes.
Mr. Bruno.
Here, yes.
Mr. Irwin.
Yes.
And Mr. McDonald.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. I figured it'd be a quick meeting. Hopefully. Other business. Rick,
I'm good.
Judy,
Nothing. Oh, I do have one thing.
Okay.
I did start the AUD for the state. Our accountant is coming in on Friday. He's going to go through it, make sure it's correct, and it will be submitted sometime next week before the date is needed.
Awesome.
Nice job.
Thank you. Matt?
I was just looking through this packet, the request from Jared Croy for the football skills camp. Down at the bottom, so I'm looking at certificate of liability, I don't know where we are in this in general, but it says certificate holder is Lapham Mills Park. That's not there's not an entity called Lapham Mills Park, right?
No,
So
I didn't get a chance to look at it because I wanted you guys to see it first.
So if this goes, everything else I think is okay, if you guys are fine with this, we just want that at least to say town of Peru.
Right.
Because there is nothing, Lapham Mills Park is nothing too short. The policy limits, the occurrence limits, those are fine.
That was going to be part of my other business.
Other business.
The thing is that he says he's charging for it. Normally we don't, if it's, a youth thing, we don't charge, but since he's charging, I'm assuming we're gonna charge him the $50.
I would want to know what he's charging and what it's going to be for, because it looks like, I thought of that too, but it looks like, it doesn't look like
He has what it's for, but he doesn't have what he's charging.
that's what I want, so I want to know, is he breaking even and covering his cost, then I don't think he'd want to charge for it. It says insurance, drinks, flags, and equipment, if that's just what it's going to cost him to put the camp on, he's not making money, I think let the fee go. If he's charging, he's gonna pocket a couple $100, that's fine if he wants to, but I think he's gotta get charged just like anybody else, but it's a for-profit thing. So just find that out, what does he expect to charge and how many?
I don't know about that portion. In talking to him, it was like a break-even thing. That's why it's only Peru. There's nobody else.
So that would make sense. So just find that out, ask that the name of the insured be changed to town of Peru on the certificate, and I think we're okay. Sorry to have stumped you on that, Dan.
Thanks, Ben.
No problem.
You gonna ask me what you already done that list?
I know, I'm trying to scoop her.
Anything
No, that's it.
else? No.
Going back on Hayward Mason building, looking for sponsors if anybody wants. We've got a few more windows to finish up. We'll get started on that before long.
If you want me to share, like I've told you in the past, if you want me to share it on my page as a fundraiser thing, let me know, because you can raise the money fast, I'm sure. Just let me know. I just need the information. I mean, we just did one for the kids' hockey team, Saranac, Peru.
Yep.
And raised $4,000 in 2 days, which was unreal. So let me know, I just need the details and I can put it on. I just gotta do it as a GoFundMe thing on my thing, and then they take 3%, but what's 3% when you weren't gonna have something?
Yeah, we gotta get, count on number of windows and how much work we ought to
Yeah,
get.
let me know, because, the sponsors will probably wanna know, does their name go on it, does it, something like that, or whatever.
Oh, yeah, all
Yep.
sponsors will at some point go on.
Okay, let me know, because I would definitely throw that on, and he usually does very well for things like that. Thanks, Bill. Anything else?
No.
Great.
Hey, Jim Douglas and I, Jim that's not here, went to the Peru Library Community event, and Mike Farrell and Tyler put on a very good demonstration and speaking about the salt on the roads and everything. It was really good, and they have their stuff together, and it was really informative, and I was really impressed with the knowledge of both of them.
Everyone
So
very
kudos to you and Mike and Tyler. That's it.
Yeah.
It's enough.
Check.
Nope.
Nothing.
Shaka, what do you do with a stolen dog?
Sell it.
Oh, I see. There you go. Go for your Shaka. I see on your report you had a stolen dog.
Yeah, there was nothing I can do with this, like I can tell them to call the cops.
Okay. Okay. I was just wondering, I couldn't read the comments, or did you get
Yeah.
a typewriter? Okay, that's what I just wanted to ask you. Thank you.
No, pretty quiet.
Good.
You're doing a great job.
That's a good thing.
We like that.
Well, it's a good sign.
This summer, more dogs get out in the sun.
Moving, sorry.
Got it.
Bob.
Just one thing, and it's just for discussion, I don't know what the policy is, but last Friday, I got called out by fire control and the fire department for a house explosion down on River Road, so I was down there for probably an hour and a half or something like that. I don't know what the policy is for me. We just count it as comp time, or I don't know. I just wanted to call it out, attention. I didn't hit the clock, I didn't go over here and grab the car or anything. I just went straight from my house down there with my own vehicle and to investigate that.
What do they call you? What do you do?
The fire, anytime there's a fire.
Structural damage.
He's
Yeah,
got-
any fire I got.
Officers,
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so there was some structural damage there, so.
So the fire department pays you?
What's that?
Yeah,
right. The volunteer worker? So I just wanted to throw that out there, and I don't know what, you know, what has been done in the past, and how does that work, and I'm not sure, or not, but I'm not looking for, I just wanted to know.
Give you some leftover Halloween candy.
Thank you.
No, I would think if anyone gets called out, just like anyone, if anyone does, like water sewer gets called out, or somebody gets called out from the highway or something, I feel, I mean, it should be comp time, but
Yeah,
then we
if you
can
don't
talk
have
to the
time to
board,
punch the
but
clock,
I
you
don't
go right
see,
to the
I mean, it's
site.
not like it happens
Absolutely.
all the time, it happens, you know, probably unfortunately 2-3 times a year possible.
Yeah.
I think it should be comp time if it's after regular hours,
Okay.
Plus
if he
it's-
has to go.
It's safer that he doesn't come here first, he went right there, so he couldn't punch the clock, so it's absolutely comp it out.
Okay, thank you.
I
If
won't
you do
see
that,
it
you need to
any
update
different.
your handbook.
What's that?
If you do that, you need to update your handbook.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the handbook states that salaried employees can't accumulate comp time.
We don't want to take a look at it.
Okay.
Just see.
What would you do, what do you think about that, Matt?
I just think you gotta do whatever the handbook says.
Well, so the other thing I was thinking was maybe I shouldn't come over here and punch the clock, because what if I got into a situation that it was a
Yeah.
danger, and we end up with a workman's comp thing, and
Yeah.
I certainly don't want to put that on the towns. This was not the case, but
Yeah.
in the future, who knows?
You probably should check in because we did have an incident, you know, years and years back, way back, where someone wasn't checked in and something happened.
So I should hit the clock. You think-
I'll admit, I don't, if there's an emergency at the water plant where I need to get
Yeah,
up there,
you've done it before.
I don't punch in, I get in the Tahoe and I just go right to the water plant. Usually I just write it in.
This blew the wall right
Just-
off the foundation. It was.
No, I know, I'm just-
It was kind of an emergency.
Yeah. I mean, coming over and hitting the clock and taking an extra 5 minutes probably wouldn't, but is that, would you think I should have to, because if we.
Well, it would cover, if you punched in, it will cover you with us.
Yep.
If something else were to happen.
Okay.
Compensation.
I think he's still covered. if he
He's
got a
still
call
gonna be
from the-
covered, you just have to fight the insurance like they did years ago with another case, because something happened to an employee years ago, I mean, back in 15 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know if the salary employees necessarily need to punch in when they're on basically an on-call basis.
Yeah,
You know, I think you're covered one way, like kind of like Courtney said, I think you're covered one way or the other.
I would agree.
As far as liability goes, as far as keeping track of time, that's a whole different story. I think it's one of those
You got the time
judgment
when you're
things. If it's an
outside.
emergency, you gotta go, you gotta go.
Yeah.
And like during the same pay period, if I go in and I have to go in on the weekend, I'll use that time if I took off during the week if it's in the same pay period, but I've never accumulated any comp time because the handbook says you can't.
Are you a 40-hour
Yes,
employee?
yes.
Well, you have taken it in the same pay period, basically as comp time, if you're saying that then, right?
I do. We allow hourly employees to carry 60 hours,
Okay.
but that's hourly employees. But salary, it states, I'm pretty sure in the handbook that we're not supposed to get comp time, but
Can't
like
carry
I said, if it's in the same pay period,
Same.
as long as I get my 40,
Right.
you know, if I worked 4 hours on Saturday, but I took 4 hours off on Wednesday, I just put my 40. So I work 40 hours for the week, but I don't carry it on a comp sheet till the following pay period.
So is the same
We're
pay
fine.
period still? If
What's
it
that?
is, I suggest you take an hour and a half off, if it's still in the same pay period.
Okay, yep.
If that's
If
what
it's
Courtney
not, you
does,
lost
then
it.
I don't see why you can't. It's the same.
And one other thing real quick is, still waiting for a third quote for that, for our house on School Street. I'm sorry. I think the situation we're in is that
You might only
it's
get
such
two
a
quotes.
small job that,
Yeah.
that these companies that are outside the area, they're not coming for one single, you know, they wanna accumulate a few of them that are in the area and then they show up and then, right now, it's a quote from somebody in Albany, so, sorry about that, but, I mean, I'm trying.
Like Matt said, if we only get two, and we've been attempting obviously to get the third,
Oh,
we just
yeah.
gotta let the county know for
Yeah, I reach
sure
out to-
that we have attempted to get a third.
I reach out to the treasurer first, just say, hey, we got these two.
Yep.
Just so we can't, 2
Yeah,
years from now,
but-
have somebody say, hey, you need a third like you were
But,
supposed to.
but Matt, my thought was to consider the bid, because it's gonna be greater than $20,000, so we have to have 3 bids.
But you gotta show you at least attempted.
You do, but I think there's situations in which you don't, so that's one side. The other side is with the county's new policy, I wanna make sure we get every
Yep,
step of this
yep.
kind of okay, just so.
Agreed, yep, and like you and I discussed, we're
Yep.
gonna have all our paperwork
Yep.
to discuss with Kimberly, and so
Right.
Yeah.
we're not gonna miss.
On our
No
bids,
problem.
there's always a time limit on the bids, if we only get 2, then the time
That's
limit's
right, I
up.
understand,
We
yep,
only get 2.
Get it done.
Cause you can't wait these days,
Yep.
it's hard to even get one sometimes.
Yep.
Anything else, Bob?
no, that's it, thank you.
Christine?
Winding down basketball. Last Saturday we did cancel. I felt that with the safety, with the roads and everything else, best to just cancel. So we did that Friday night, so we had ample time with 8 o'clock games. I don't need someone at 7:15 on the road trying to make it there. So I talked to, district superintendent, who said, you know what, I think you're making a great decision, because they don't have anybody that goes out and plow at school, really on weekends, unless they absolutely have to. So it was a smart decision. We're just rescheduling those games, but this Saturday is the last group of games, and then we have a couple of makeups for next week, and season ends. So end of season meeting coming up. There's a youth commission meeting at the end of the month. I have had people ask, so when are we signing up for baseball, softball? I think that started about 2 weeks ago. So I don't want to sign my kid up for summer activities, but I said, as soon as we get the meeting in for the end of March, everything will go on to rec desk, it'll be good to go then. So they put that out on the Facebook page as well.
Excellent.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike?
Cook Road Engineer and Ventures reached out to me, so we're gonna have to make some decisions here. Obviously, it's that dead end road, it's Army Corps Engineer protected wetlands area along with DEC. Landing testing, I've given the okay today, and sent it out to them. We just gotta change the name, because it was sent to engineer and Ventures, it's gonna be town approved, but they're gonna do the board testing, if there's any ledge. I did reach out to Camp Precast in Vermont, for the 46-foot length by 14 wide and 3.5 foot high. It's a box culvert, one was 149, I believe, and then the 3-sided one with no bottom was 130 something, but then you're gonna have precast footings. We're hoping to actually use the box, because we can just set it on item 4 or stone. And then, because we got to be able to get, there was no other way to get traffic, the one house, people in and out of there. I was originally hoping to come in, because I would use some of my paving money, but that's gonna take over half of my paving money, never mind the labor, so we're gonna, it'll take a couple more weeks, I'm gonna have to come up with a different way. I'll probably meet with my liaisons and see how we wanna do this, because we know what we got coming down the road in Telegraph. I did talk to this, I think I already mentioned this, but the one in Westcott that's twin tubes, that's gotta be a bridge, but we're gonna have to take land there, and put a bridge in first, to take the culverts out, pour a new bridge, get a new bridge in place. But this is all coming down the road, and we gotta come up with some way to pay for it. They were all put in 96 or 98, and they're all in the same shape, they're just, Westcott, I've got one by my house, it's 10 foot. The swamp, you can start to see that starting to do the same thing, where it borders Larry Cabana's land. We're talking some money, because we could just slap the culverts in, you gotta go through the permitting process, and it takes forever. They got 6 months or so to answer you what you wanna do, if they'll even okay it, so. That's where we are on Cook Road. We are getting through it with the truck. It's got a hole right through. There's nothing I do. We can't put anything there. It's right through the top of the pipe. So it's got to be fixed. And it just stinks. We're going to spend that much for one house, and somebody's got a little garage without a house on a separate line. but that's basically all we got. We did go to Albany last week for our paving money, pretty good turnout. I thought our county should have did a little better. I think we only had 15 or 17 between us, Franklin, and Clinton County. I think we certainly made a point with 600 shirts, kind of like this, the orange shirts, and Brady knows he's been down before, but to get the money's going to be good. You know, when you get talking to the Center and Assembly people, and you don't hear about it, but there's money for pensions for the inmates now, $1 billion, because they closed the work program. So then this is a way for them to buy their cigarettes and commissary. So it's frustrating that, you know, they're in there for crime, and, you know, you're losing money for infrastructure. And, you know, with the 25%, yeah, we got more money, but with the cost of inflation, that money is worth 25% less. And we don't even have the blacktop cost yet. That'll be in sometime in April for, and I'll have them numbers, and that'll tell us how much we're gonna pay. So that's where we're at.
Thank you.
Have we reached out to Billy Jones about any of this for?
We have.
We have?
Yep, we have. He's checking at anything that he can find down there. When he met with him with AES, he's also checking with the water stuff. But, you know, until they have their sessions and that stuff's brought up, we won't know.
They go on long vacations, don't they?
They go back and forth. They go down quite a bit actually, but it's different things that they're going for. That's, you know,
All right, well, hang in there, Mike, we'll find the money, we gotta get it done, so it's not like we can't find the money. It's there, we just gotta try to angle something.
If not, we just gotta do the bonds and the bans, and, you know, there's nothing good about that kind of stuff that we have to do because it is on all us taxpayers, every one of us do. But the thing is,
Trying to get around.
I mean, that's what we're trying to get around, but, I mean, it doesn't hurt. It hurts everyone, but it doesn't hurt like the water sewer when there's only 900 or 700 users. It's for the whole town wide, so it actually is not a humongous thing. It's
The person on the end of the road wanna make a big donation or anything?
Probably not.
But we will keep looking into seeing what we can get, and if not, we just have to, you know, it's part of town business, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Anything else, Mike? No. Courtney?
I'm good.
Pam?
I got two things. In your package, you've got the Clinton County Treasurer's Office letter,
Yeah.
that the town in 2024 is going to have to start paying, more for the town's portion of the postage for taxes.
Nice.
So we'll have to put that in the budget when it comes around. And I just wanted to head any rumblings. We got another notice to warrant for the unemployment insurance office. Last time we got one of the residents from the town of Peru who works at the Clinton County Treasurer's Office started asking all kinds of questions. Why do we have a tax lien against us from New York State Unemployment Office? It doesn't say, well, it does say it's from New York State Unemployment Office, but it's done in error. And you've got 3 different sections of the unemployment office. One's in Binghamton, one's in Albany, and then there's another arm of it.
And they don't all talk to each other.
They don't all talk to each other. I've got 2 letters stating that they're going to credit our account for the $4,218.62, but we don't have, you know, they're gonna try and head, you know,
It's
it off
not-
at the pass, and
Yeah.
I've been doing this for 2 years.
Pretty much out of
It's just
our
going
hands,
round
but-
and round.
But it
So-
does come back to the county, which, like you said, the county, someone down there that's resident of Peru mentioned it last time. If that was all settled, that's all taken care of, but now we're getting to another one now because all 3 offices aren't talking to each other. And, but we are taking care of it, so if it does come back around, it's the same thing.
Good job, Pam.
Anything else?
No.
Okay. The only thing I have is the mailbox situation, and then one little thing over on Moore Drive too. The mailbox situation, I've caught back 6, 7 residents this year again. Last year wasn't as bad, this year there's a lot heavier snow. Only one that I've seen, I did not see this gentleman's that was here tonight, and either email, spam, or whatever happened. But one of the 7 I've seen was definitely our fault, Mooney's, that I talked to you about. The plow actually hit that mailbox. I've talked to Zach Gladville, I've talked to some other people up his way. That was more or less the heavy snow. There was no signs of the plow hitting the mailboxes. I don't know the answer. To this, other than we don't replace them, it's hard because residents are mad and, things like that. I do know from looking into it, Mike knows this too, your mailbox has got to be 41 inches to 45 inches. It's got to be higher than the plow. The plows are what, 40 inches, Mike, or 39?
39.
39 and a half in that things, and they stay right at that level because of the weight of them, so they aren't going up anything or down. But I tell everybody, put them at the 45 inch mark. Put it there, plain and simple. Heavy snow though, as we all know, if snow comes out that, it doesn't stay below 45 inches. So it's a hard situation, but I get the calls, I return the phone calls. They're good, bad, and they're usually not good. But I've explained that to 2 other people over on Calkins Road and Connors Road, and it turned out good, just have a conversation. But I just told them, it costs a lot of money if we keep replacing mailboxes all the time, especially when some are not, just from rotten poles or whatever. The other thing, a woman called me up on Friday afternoon. I called her when I came in earlier, returned her call, Moore Drive, over where this gentleman lives. I think that's where he said he lived. And she called the garage, and what happened is when we raised the road over there from paving it, of course, water's running down now farther towards her house. She was very nice about it. I called her back just before our meeting because I left her a message. She said she talked to somebody. She was very nice. And I called her just before our meeting because I didn't get her earlier today. And she said, actually, I'm sitting in the parking lot. I was going to come in and talk to you. And I met her out here before the meeting. And she just wants to know if there's anything we can do. 3 years ago, she said we put a little hump, but the hump didn't go all the way, all the way to the end, so the water and rain's still going down. So it's something we can talk about, but
The problem is that
it's
the
slow.
driveway sits below the road. We tried to tell these people, of course, probably about the house, but you want your floor a foot above the road. So 100 years from now, when it gets resurfaced, God knows how many times, but we did put that, and I actually put that right there. We fixed after the fact, and that went all the way across. Problem is, when you put it at the end of the driveway, the wing's going to catch it. The wing more than likely took it out because it's kind of just free floating, not attached. If she would have said something when we paid, because we did another driveway, we put that. The lady come down and talked to us, give us enough, she was up the road a couple 100 feet, and I did one there. I don't know how long it'll stay because it's, it's just foreign, and it's where the wing's going to catch it. After a while, the wing's going to catch it, it's just going to pop. But their driveways are below the road, and that's a natural spot for the water to run. So, and that's an issue all over town in certain spots.
So it's something we can look at, or at least, say, hey, we can go over and look at, or something.
No, and I
She was very nice
got
about
this
it.
started,
She
that
would
is
like
on
to
the
know
list.
what she can do, because like she said, now that it's, starting to warm up and stuff, a lot's going right towards her driveway and her house, and it's causing a problem.
So
I just don't know what the
as far as
answer
the
is.
mailboxes go, Brandon, these people have to understand sometimes these driveways are going out and it's whiteouts and there's plowing, the conditions are really crazy sometimes where they can't see all the mailboxes. They miss a lot more than they hit, so I'll give them credit for that.
Like I said, I get 5 to 10 a year. Last year was, I think, 2. This year was a lot more. It's just we've had a lot of heavy snow and we've had a lot of lightning.
Well, we found a problem with one of the trucks with the wing. So we fixed that, and that was basically the same truck was getting most of them, and it was just, we're 14.4 spread out. So if you take a 10-foot lane, we're 4 feet off the edge of the road. So the mailboxes are usually 1 or 2, so they got to weave and in, you know, the realm, but if you meet a car, you got no choice.
No, you have no choice.
You gotta take
I
the
know.
mailbox or post, and a lot of them that get broke are rotted in the ground. I mean, you got mine last storm, you know, I went
Yes,
got
it
mail,
did.
I saw it, but mine, been there long enough, it was just rotten, nothing, you know, it hadn't been hit, just the snow got it, loosened it, and when I pulled it up, it was just rotted, even though it was pressure treated.
Well, if anyone else gets called, just tell people, put them at 45, that's your best bet. I mean, I had mine on Locust Drive 2 times.
The problem is,
You
you
know,
got that
Locust
cross
Street,
piece
I never did it.
underneath. You know, they may have the mailbox, but they put that,
Yeah.
you know, that cross piece
Underneath
underneath,
the
that
cross
20-some inches, it's gonna clean everything.
Just for the record, in my mailbox, I went down and straightened it up and the individual drove.
Well,
And we didn't come to blows, but we got it straight. It's on recording.
that was Chad, so that was actually working.
Anything else?
I had Nick Bedard from Mountain Valley Mechanical come in
He
today,
was here today, yeah.
and he was looking at the splits for the town hall. I want to ask the board, do we want to put that out and maybe put it out in the paper for?
We're gonna have to advertise it, we
Right.
talked about it with me, Pam, and Courtney. I was here still when he was here.
Yeah.
And we're gonna definitely have to advertise it. Then again, we'd be in the same situation probably as Bob. We might not get as many quotes, but then again, we give a certain time frame. And, you know, this is where your time frame is, you get us a quote. At the same time, we talked about it, is putting a drop ceiling in here. And that's something he could do too and give us a quote on. Because as we all know, we heat up here, you know, heat up everything. We don't need to heat up, you know, everything. With the mini splits, because the AC unit is back up in here, the ductwork and all that, we will eliminate that, so we have the split units, so we definitely won't have to have access. Because I think over here was one of the intakes or outtakes or whatever was the biggest one. Obviously, eliminating that with the splits, we could put a drop ceiling in here and save a lot of money in heating, I'm sure, and AC even. So that's the other thing, so I would definitely say we should probably put it out to bid because it's gonna definitely exceed a certain amount.
Matt, can we put it out to bid as whatever company puts in a bid, they use their design and their bid, and then, so that way we don't have to pay an engineering fee?
So basically have somebody come in and engineer their own design and include that as part of the bid.
Use their own design for their own bid, yeah, not let
But just
everybody
know that
else's.
they gotta be 8 units.
Right,
Put it in whatever, you can put in the specifications that you want. You just gotta make sure whoever wants to come in and look around, they'll get given equal access, equal time, that kind of stuff. And I would keep track of if the company A is in here for X amount, just keep track of it. Who's in here for how long, that kind of stuff.
And we just know we want 8 units and we tell them exactly, like we talked to him about where the units are gonna be. Because we don't wanna just say 8 units and then they're all lined up, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we want them in each office.
I like mine.
Make a motion, second.
If you have questions, yes, make a motion.
So let's do a motion and a second, and we get an advertisement to put it out to bid, and then do we have to say an hour date right now, or do we want to set up a bid?
I would do it in a question.
Okay. So let's get, what's today's date, is, let's say a month from now, so basically say for our second board meeting of April, do you wanna go that far out, or do you?
Sure.
You should be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be too hot yet.
Okay. Maybe like I want next week. Okay, so let's put out the, I need a motion and a second to put out the bid. We need 8 mini splits for sure,
8 heads, 3
8
minute
heads.
splits.
3 mini splits, 8 heads. And they design it basically the best fit. Do we
But
wanna
do we-
add the drop ceiling in at the same time, or will it be to 2 different people?
No, it'd be
Same.
completely different
Okay.
companies.
So that ain't gonna cost a lot, so I don't even think that's gonna have to go out to bid.
Where'd you get the 3 splits from?
That's what he was recommending, but what I'm asking,
I'd let them design their own, just say
yeah,
that.
design.
Tell them the rooms we want done.
Yeah,
And they
'cause
design-
some of them units run more than 3.
Yeah, somebody's company brand might run different than.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Different designs and different ways.
So you want the 8 units is what you want?
We want
You
8
don't know-
units.
You don't know how many splits?
We want 8 units in 8
I
different.
would just say,
offices.
8
show them the 8
rooms.
rooms.
Yeah, 8 rooms.
Name out the rooms and let them do
Right.
their own design.
Yeah.
So you need a motion and a second to put out the bid that we need 8 units or 8, in 8 rooms of these units. And we would want bids back by April 10th at 10 o'clock in the morning. And we would approve something on April 10th meeting.
I'll make the motion that we put out for bid 8 units in 8 different rooms for cooling and heating.
Do you want to also do this today at the same time? I mean, you may get a company that can do everything, you may get a
I
better
think
price
you
if you
can.
do it all at once. Is there any reason not to do that?
Usually AC companies aren't gonna get into construction, are they?
Well, I'm not gonna name the company, I'm thinking of companies that I know that can do all of that.
I know he can too. The guy who was here today can do it all.
I mean, if they could, as long as they separate out the bid, I wouldn't,
Yeah, so do it, exactly, separate out the
Yeah.
bids and then get a total price.
8 units bid by the 10th and also to include a drop ceiling in the main area.
With 2 different quotes. Quote out separately, and by 10 o'clock on the 10th.
10 o'clock on the 10th. Did you get all that, Jimmy?
That change. So Craig made the motion,
Second.
Rick second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Resolution, I need a motion and a second to pay the bills for March 2023.
Make it.
Craig,
Second.
Nell,
A resolution authorizing the post audit payment of certain claims bills and invoices of the town. Whereas the town board has reviewed and audited the following claims bills and invoices for services rendered and goods provided to the town in March 2023. From town approved vouchers in March 2023, number 2023-00251 through and including 2023-00329, abstract dated March 8, 2023. For the dollar amount totaling $224,019.09. Of that, $16,546.33 was wired, credit cards, and prepaid, and $207,472.26 is remaining to be paid. And whereas the town board finds said claim bills and invoices to be acceptable form and reasonable amount, now therefore be it resolved that payment of the aforementioned claims bills and invoices is approved, and the supervisor being hereby is authorized to make such payment, and being further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately.
roll call, Judy.
Mr. Garber?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay.
Brandy, you forgot public comments on agenda items only.
Okay, I'll go back.
Yeah, we didn't forget it.
Public comments on.
Last time Mr. Ryan left, remember, and left us in charge of his camera?
Yes, he left us in charge. Everyone good? See, I knew no one had anything.
I do that.
Anyone need an executive session for anything? One place, I need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion. Second.
Rick, second, all in favor?
Aye.